What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris, the Atari Creep. How's everyone doing today? I actually wasn't expecting to make an Atari VCS update video today, nor did I really care to, but I promised anytime something would come up, I would do it, right? The curse of being a journalist and influencer. Those words were thrown at me about a week or two ago. I'm like, dude, have you fucking watched my videos, really? But I will admit, though, this update, I took notes as I was reading. Because I honestly, when I saw it, didn't think it was going to be anything to speak about. I thought it was just going to be current events, more delay, and I was like, cool. My hands are washed of it. Don't need to speak of that anymore. But unfortunately, there are things to talk about. But first and foremost, most importantly, if you look at that purple banner at the bottom of the article, that is mine. That is part of my setup, and you'll see that quite a bit here. Most of you already know what that is, and yes, we are starting a little early this year. That purple means a lot of fun, a lot of free stuff, and the ability to help. The ability to help possibly come up with a cure for a devastating disease that affects so many people, but we'll get to that when it's time to get to that. I just wanted to make sure it was pointed out. You knew it was there. It's coming, and I have some amazing things planned for this year, and I hope they all come to fruition. And for anyone who's fairly new to my channel, this is how this works. I read the article. I take a few little notes here and there, and I speak upon the things that stand out. We are not going to discuss the entire article. I will leave that link for you to click on, read the entire thing, and just take from it what you wish, and moving on. They start off by talking about the current events. I'm trying to say not the words, so to speak, because I hear the algorithms and stuff like that. The bots aren't liking it, and not that I normally care about that. I do want people to see these updates. So they're saying we hope you guys are doing well, and they show a couple pictures of some units here. The one in the bottom left looks a little dusty, but that just could be the protective film. All right, so I want to focus here on this first paragraph quite a bit. Okay, and normally I don't even read them, but we're going to read this one, and then I'm going to spew forth opinion. Oh no. As the Atari Group recently announced, we have confirmed delivery of enough parts by the end of March to build our first 500 Atari VCS production units. That's good news. Here's where they do their normal diversion. A good portion of these first Atari VCS units are earmarked as dev kits for developers. Oh, you don't say. Okay. Well, I got a thing at 12 to talk about with that, but we'll continue. We believe it would be unfair to use the balance to fulfill only a small number of Indiegogo orders, so Atari's plan is to ship to all backers at the same time when enough VCS units and peripherals are available. You know what? Side note, I'm sick of them talking about peripherals. Controllers are not fucking peripherals. They're supposed to be part of the unit. It's called a unit. Whatever. Fuck you. I'm right. They're wrong. All right, so development kits. Let's start there. Why now? Why are they making developer kits now? Okay? These first 500 ones that are going to be built should go in the hands of people, and I don't care if there's enough to go around completely. This has been going on for months. Indiegogo backers should have already had theirs in their hand, and this is before the current event situation. You can only give them so much slack for the current event. They've built up to this to the point where it can become an excuse, and I'm not buying it. I mean, it's the reality. Nothing can happen right now, pretty much. But guys, up until now, if this didn't happen, it would still be giving us this nonsense. But regardless, why are they giving developers kits now? And who is getting them? Who? What developers? That's my other question. And can't you use a site called Unity to develop for it? So people are going to come at me and say, well, you know, you could use that, or you could use a development kit that'll develop directly for the specific hardware. Well, guys, that talks about, that speaks upon my biggest issue with this console, is it has zero identity. It runs Windows. That's all we've seen. It runs Windows and some version of Linux, but we've only seen it working with Windows. I don't know. There's no developers out there to give this thing to. And then are they manufacturing specific development kits only? Or are these, like they said here, hold on, this is a great point, production units. Why you didn't give developer kits, developers, production units? Are they really going to give a wood grain unit to a developer? No, 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 no. You give them a stripped down version. So let's say Johnny Q developer is ready to rock and roll. Fine, give him something. But you don't give him a production unit. You give him a stripped down version where he can do the job that needs to be done. These need to go in the hands of the people who's already fucking paid for them. And that's all I got to say. Now, is it fair that all those people will not get one, that only a few select will? Yeah, it's not fair. It's not really all that fair, but it's the current situation. It's the reality. And we need to get these in people's hands ASAP, regardless of how it happens at this fucking point. I'm sick and tired of the delays, and I'm sick and tired of the bullshit, and I'm sick and tired of the lack of information. I don't get it. I don't get it. So they're delaying backers again, and I think it's a bullshit excuse. There's 500 units coming out. They're calling production units, but if they're production units, they would be specific ones. They don't even know how to do a press release right to try to sway us. It's so telling. So then they go on to talk about supply issues and how that's been impactful. And then they talk about how they just recently did the whole waiting list on top of course, you can do the GameStop and Walmart crap. Plus, people have, I didn't mean to do that. And of course, people from Indiegogo and all that stuff. They talk about the order in which people are going to be getting them. Indiegogo backers first, the retail pre-sales, the waiting list people, and then, of course, the retail stores themselves will be getting them in that order. This is what I say. Stop with the fucking waiting list stuff and stop selling them. Stop selling them. Let's catch up here a little bit, you know? Don't get deeper in the fucking hole. There's no reason to do that. But I suppose they want people to get on this list. Now, in all fairness, the waiting list isn't anyone purchasing anything yet. And for all I know, that's exactly what the waiting list for. It's kind of a stopgap to say, stop buying shit. But if I go to Walmart right now, I could probably still get that Onyx 800 or whatever the fuck it is on a pre-order. So I think they need to just kind of put a wall right there and say, let's let this shit blow over. Let's catch up. And then we'll do the waiting list. And then we'll let the retailers still have their thing. But they're not going to do that because they're fucking dum-dums. They talk about the console that we saw at that event that no one knows about in New York, how it was a shiny console, and they think Matt looks a lot more professional, so that's more to what you're going to see. So it's more of the same. That first paragraph was really all that was new so far. They talk about their factory in Shanghai hasn't actually been affected as much. Yeah, we're right there already. Hasn't been affected as much as the rest of the nation over there. But they're still only running at a 15 to 20% capacity, which is kind of good news because they're still operating. Now, should they be? That's between you and your own morals. But there you go. And then they talk about the controllers. I'm glad they said this instead of peripherals again, and how they're keeping an eye on all that stuff and making sure everything is somewhat going the best and smoothly as it can. The rest of the video, the article just talks about QC, and they show a bunch of pictures of pointing arrows and what's good and what's bad. Look at that scratch over here on the top right. That's no bueno. Do you know who would really like one of those? Somebody who's been waiting forever. I don't think they would give a shit at this point if it had a scratch on it. I really don't. I know I wouldn't, as long as I didn't pay fucking $400 for the goddamn thing. Little dings and dents and USBs not in the right place. Isn't this shit that should have already been happened? Again, this is stuff that we're probably about 6 months to almost a year behind on. And that's why we're as aggravated as we are. Look at the real wood. You know what? That's real wood. If it's real wood, then it's going to have flaws like that. That's just the nature of the beast. So, Boeing. That's not good. You know what? We could put a little nose and a smiley face on that bottom picture and make it look like it's just something sleeping. The sleeping giant that's going to take over the gaming industry. They talk about the measurements and stuff. This is all stuff that you can read on your own. There's a nifty picture of feeler gauges that they've made. I'm surprised there's no calipers in there. Yeah, and the rest of it's just padded out with this stuff. More pictures of shiny consoles that they say aren't going to exist anymore. It's all going to be matte finish. And then pictures of it running Windows again. And here, remember, it was working at one time. So that's it. That's it. And I do very much mean to be as crass as I can. But remember, when it comes to the Atari VCS anyway. But that's just a joke. I hope you guys are all actually doing well. I hope this isn't truly affecting you in a health way. Um, but this Atari VCS nonsense is just, I don't know. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. I'm not going Mike Kennedy yet as far as with either one of the current event video game systems. But, and you know, a lot of people sit there and say, well, how can you champion one and not the other one? The other one's showing us stuff. Now, whether or not you like what you see, neither here nor there. Atari hasn't really shown us anything. We've seen it run Windows and Linux at an event, and that's it. Now they're going to give 500 production units, the majority of them to developers, and then the rest are what? Going to sit in a warehouse? Well, people have already paid for this? I don't get it, but I don't know. You tell me. Educate me down below. What is it I'm missing here? And that's really it, guys. So go ahead and leave your feedback. Thumbs up, thumbs down. All feedback to the Creep is positive, guys. I really do hope you're all hanging in there and doing well. Day 5 or 6 or whatever it is of the big United States lockdown. We're hanging in there. We got some really fun things playing for you. As far as here is concerned, the kids are really excited to get into the video game stuff, and we're playing some board games. I keep talking about it. It's going to happen. I just got to work around my lady's schedule. She's one of those people who schedule shit. You give her a 5-minute block, and she'll put 6 things in it for us to do. You know what I mean? She's that kind of person. But also, we've been working on this room here, and there's a nice space over here available. We might do a tour here pretty soon. That I am going to be able to just set up my own. There'll be no windows behind me, so that won't glare. The stupid light up here that glares into the camera won't be there. So we're going to have our own little setup, nice little background for you. We're going to get things moving here, and I love the wood paneling in this room, so it's perfect. But guys, I hope you're doing well, like I was just saying. Go ahead and leave your feedback, thumbs up, thumbs down. All feedback to the Creep is positive. Thank you always so much for watching. Until next time, take care, creep it real, and bye-bye.